Hey everyone, welcome beautiful people. I love this, I love talking about communication because I think that a massive amount of challenges that we have is not just disagreement but also miscommunication. And I think there's so many ways we can always, hi Kimberly, we can always improve our communication. And so I want to share with you just, oh my gosh, a simple tool that can really help us to understand each other. And it really is based on, well, the tool is scaling. So hi Donna, and to scale our conversations. I'll tell you what that means in a moment, but I want to talk first about perception because, you know, we all have to understand, and I think we kind of do, but we don't always understand the minutia of perceptions, right? Like two people see an accident and they have a different story. That's one way of looking at it. But also when we look at, you know, say you're taking a walk with a friend and there's a pit bull nearby or barking and not too far away, and we're both going to have very different perceptions about how scary that dog is or how we feel about that dog. You know, one of us might just be completely relaxed because we had experiences with pit bulls, but we don't know that. And then the other person might be all tight and really scared because they've had scary experiences or they don't have enough knowledge about pit bulls, for example. So there's going to be completely different perceptions. Hi, Allie. But we're not going to necessarily talk about it or know about it. And so much of that of the different perceptions might be in our body and then also affecting our thinking and our feelings. And these are things that aren't necessarily crystal clear when we look at them, when we look at somebody, right? And so perception is huge. And so just to recognize that there's minutia when dealing with different perceptions. And this comes up in relationships all the time. So I want to talk about scaling questions. Or just scaling. I oftentimes use them as questions. Or they're used as questions. So when we're trying to understand somebody or understand someone's perception, and I think it's so nice to walk through the world recognizing that every experience, every moment, we're having different thoughts, feelings, experiences, different ways of thinking about things. And so when I'm going to give examples of a parent with a child as well as two adults. So to scale is just to really, you know, on a scale of one being X and 10 being Y, what's your experience or what's your thought or what are you thinking? Hi, Kate. So an example with a child would be something like, say we're being stern with our child, like get your shoes on, get your coat on, get out of bed. Like we're being stern from our perception, right? So even language has different perceptions. So someone might think that that's more than stern, and someone might think, well, that's not my level of stern. That's the different perceptions that we have, right? So with kids, though, different people, different perceptions. And say your child says, well, you're being mean or you're being too stern, you're yelling. A really good way to understand that is to say with a child especially, you can use it with so many different ages. Hi, Denise, is to ask the question, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, you know, I'm calm and relaxed and just asking you to put your shoes on, and 10, I'm just screaming and being loud. You can make it fun with the child, and I'm just all over the place. How did that feel to you? And the child can express, and I use this with parents quite a bit. So I did this not too long ago with a parent, and the child was like, I'd say a 5 or a 6. And then asking the parent, well, so on a scale of 1 to 10, same criteria. You usually have to explain what a 1 is and what a 10 is. What was that to you? And he's like, well, a 3. Very different experiences. And what I love about this, especially using it with kids, is that as adults, we typically don't recognize that children are dependent on us. And that dependency creates a different experience for them. And so it's totally reasonable that that child was feeling a 6 or a 7, that's what, I might have been at in terms of sternness. And it's perfectly reasonable the adult felt that way too. And so it's a great talking point for how do we get to a place where this works out, right? How do we get to a place where you're not scared and we're recognizing that the child is going to move slower because we're scaring the child, for example. So great way to use a scaling question in that scenario. And I forgot what the scenario was I was going to use for an adult. So, but we have conflict all the time, don't we, with adults? And adult to adult conflict or adult to adult misunderstanding. So let's just use the example of, I didn't feel respected when you did that, when you said that to me, or when you said that to our neighbor. I felt really bad and disrespected and not good. Great opportunity to say, I swear you can use these for almost anything. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd like to share with you how I felt. And maybe you could ask them, on a scale of 1 to 10, how did you feel that might have impacted me in terms of disrespect? 1 being, I'm in the gutter and you're kicking me. And 10 being that, you're showing love and care and attention. And, that person would maybe say, well, I was a 6 or something. And then you could say, well, I felt like it was a 3. And you could see the difference. And so that you can really show your perspective. That's the benefit of scaling questions, is that each person gets to show their perspective. And then you can come to a place of understanding. It doesn't mean you have to necessarily even reach an agreement, or there's that you both have to get to the same number. It doesn't mean that at all. It's really a way just to show understanding. And I think it's an amazing tool, and I use it all the time. And it's a really great way to, in relationships that you care about, that you can come to a place of compassion and understanding, and especially how we view the world. You'll start to see things a lot more differently when you practice this on a regular basis, because you'll start to see that, wow, we all have different perspectives about everything. And we can use it for anything simple from I'm hungry. Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hungry are you? And we'll go get food when everyone's at an 8, something like that. Or how cold are you, from a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being hot and 10 being oh my God, I've got icicles dripping down my face. Again, I think it's better to make them fun. And that way you're communicating so much more clearly. So I hope you use this. Let me know if you've used this or what kind of comments you might have about it. But it's an awesome tool to communicate well with people, to fine-tune the communication. That's what I really love about it. It's just fine-tuning things to have much better understanding. So I hope you use this. Let me know if you like it. Give me a thumbs up. Give me some hearts if you like it. And comments are always appreciated. All right. I hope you all have a beautiful, amazing day. Thank you for coming here today. It's great to see so many people here. All right. Bye-bye.